Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to say hello and welcome to another exciting edition of the program, Ashford Garley Live, on this beautiful Tuesday night as we come to you from Detroit. I know some heard the name, some heard people talk about them, but you've gotten the opportunity tonight to put a name to the face, right? Oh, man. We are going to have all kinds of fun tonight. So you might just want to tell friends, relatives, and loved ones to log on the Base Radio at Africa.com. Of course, you can share the video to your friends, grab something to drink, make yourselves feel at home. This is where you want to be at 8 p.m. weekdays. This is the brother who doesn't eat iron, but he's definitely stronger than a lion. The medicine of the microphone, the golden voice of Liberia. That now you know me, Galway. Welcome. As always, it's time to go to Information Highway, where Mrs. Lexi Brooks Roberts is standing by to fill us in. Mrs. Roberts, hello and welcome to the show.
Yes. Good evening, Mr. Garley. How are you?
Good. As always, man. Too blessed to be stressed. God is good.
Great. Very good. Very good. How's the weather on your side? It's been hot on this side.
Oh, yeah. It's pretty much about the same. 85, 89, something like that. Extremely hot. I'm pretty sure you got the air conditioning going because it's extremely hot there from our end, you know.
Yeah, I see you all dapper though.
As always, man, that's my signature.
You're killing the competition, man.
Well, I don't see competition. I see the giant Garley. I see the Liberian people who want to give them the information, as it unfolds. That's what we do.
I hear you.
We're on our in our own lane. We are our own lane. That's why we are the
That's
trendsetters, you know?
right. Trendsetters, I hear you. Well, good evening and welcome to all of you in Radio Land, TV Land, wherever you are. Welcome to another exciting edition of Ashford Garley Live with your host, Ashford the Giant Garley. We're coming to you live from three major platforms tonight. That's Facebook Live, aka Bridge TV, BridgeRadioAfrica.com, and Bridge Radio Africa YouTube channel. Please follow us for more information and entertainment. Thank you for choosing Bridge TV as your choice of information. As you know, we are the trendsetters. We bring the information you need to know. We ask, though, that you please be respectful of one another. Please be respectful of our host. And of course, we ask that you be respectful of our guests. What you write is just as important as what you say. Please make yourselves comfortable as we have news brokers for you tonight. Breaking his silence, you probably heard him other places, but there's information you need to hear. The country in turmoil. Back to you, Mr. Garley.
Okay, again, you said it right. You know, we are asking folks to please be respectful. Uh, you know, there's one thing to disagree. You know, there's another thing to start calling people names, and you know, you're okay on Facebook, but what you're not okay, or where you're not okay, to come on British Radio Africa and start to insult people. You can't do that. There are other platforms that you can go and use the words. I mean, perhaps you guys get a kick out of it, but this is not the place for that. You know, we're just asking you to be respectful and stick to the issues. You know, you can disagree, but be do so in a very respectful manner. Again, we said some things in the past that we're not proud of. You know, we call other people names, but the new and improved British Radio Africa has a board that I consult with before I come on here. So I'm not just doing this on my own. And we fought so hard to build this platform. We'll just not allow people to come and abuse it. You know, there were times when we have 4 people watching, 9 people watching, and today folks have found reason to come on here and learn something. And please do not disrespect the platform. That's all we're asking. Mrs. Roberts, can you please just read out a few comments before we introduce our special guest?
Sure. Thank you, Mr. Garley. So we have trending from the top. We have Paco Serlis. He says, I am watching from Liberia. Jerome Roberts, what's up, the giant? D. Flo Flomo, AG, Liberia Destiny Debaters. The home of constructive thinkers is here. Thanks for everything, brother. We also have Jen Lassa is watching. We have Ansumani Bility. Good morning, the giant, watching you from Adelaide, South Australia. We have Deja Coley watching. Jerry Dugler, he says, wow, the great giant. Jerome Roberts also writes, when dance, see dance, dance, give it. Momo M. Sendemani, he says, I am here. Peter. Emmanuel Garley, big brother, welcome back again. Great job. Smith Dowie is in the building. We have Ralph P. Williams. He said, I am here. Smith Dowie, hello, my family. Onike Hawa Newman says, hi, Ashford, the giant. Sufficient, the Momo Senior says, hi, the giant. Momo M. Sedimani says, tough times don't last, only those tough people do. What thing I know, sir? Smith Dawie likes the beautiful suit. Michi Richard Hubbard is in the building. We have Mon Caputi. I am here today. Rocadia Jones is here watching as well. Ralph T. Williams, Ashford, nice outfit. Tyler Tody, good evening, everyone. Let's learn tonight. Sufficient D. Momo Sr. says, state of emergency has ended in Liberia. I'm getting a feedback, Mr. Garley. State of the Sufficient D. Momo says, state of emergency has ended in Liberia. Thank God for his loving kindness. And we have Mandayen Jabate Ashford. Hello there. Vivian Zogbe says, hi Ashford, I am watching. William Pato, we are currently joining you from Von land. Tyler Tolley, no cutting and rude comments tonight. Kafa Dolly says, good evening, Chief. Ralph P. Williams, only seditions are disrespectful. Tyler Tolley replying to Ralph, yes, they are. And we have Alfred Mamadou, God's favor, Konowa. Breaking news. The state of emergency in Liberia has since been expired. The president of Liberia, George Manawia, is calling all military personnel to return back to barracks, courtesy of Spoon TV. Daddy Abrima Mambendi says, I am watching from Old Road, Smite Road Sinker. Austin Carper is here. Princess Zeza says, hi. Ralph P. Williams following from beautiful Iowa, USA. Vera McQueen Horace, she writes, hello all, I am here to get all the updates and to be informed. Thank you. We have Berber Salifu says, good evening, family, I am watching. Clarence Jackson, good evening, hosts and viewers around the world. Masa Rick, hello. Clarence Jackson, happy to be in class tonight. Oliver Zoka, watching from South Korea. Caesar S. Gardner is also watching. Lapu Ziga, hello everyone.
And Lapu Ziga that got a birthday coming up, I believe on the 28th or something. So I want to do a pre-birthday shout out for Lapu Ziga. Congratulations in advance. And Mr. Stephen Johnson celebrates his birthday today as well. Stephen, congratulations. And let us sure hope that you live to see many, many more birthdays to come. This one comes from the management staff of British Radio Africa. Felicitations. Read two more comments and then we'll go ahead and bring our guests up close.
Okay, we have Marie Claudia in the building. We have Fraser. She says, or he says, good evening, family. Kawu Yadolo, hello, watching from Hamilton, New Jersey. Cassia Peters, I am watching from Atlanta, Georgia. And back to you, Mr. Garley.
And that's
if
right.
I missed anybody, please forgive me.
Okay, and again, if you are celebrating your birthday or any type of occasion, we want to, on behalf of the management and staff of British Radio Africa, say congratulations, and let us sure hope that you live to see many, many more birthdays to come. Christopher A. Kamara is watching from Australia. Salimatu Khanat is also in the building. See Harris Cole. They say no sound. I think that was earlier who got it fixed now. Okay, and Rob is celebrating his birthday on the 26th of July. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we want to introduce to you our special guests. And would not ask Mrs. Letty Brooks Roberts to tell us a little bit about our guest, Mrs. Roberts. Letty Brooks Roberts.
Yes, please hold. Give me a second. I'm here, Mr. Garley. Just give me a little bit of music, please.
Oh, come on, man. Jeez.
Okay, I'm ready. Hello, good evening, everyone. We have Dr. NYKOI JOMAH. Dr. JOMAH is the current director and head of livestock, aquaculture, and inland fishery program, Central Agricultural Research Institute, aka CARI. He is a MacArthur Foundation Fellow and holds a PhD degree in epizoology from the Faculty of Veterinary Medicine, University of Aberdeen, Nigeria. His area of specialty is human animal disease environment. NYKOI has been a researcher involved with disease surveillance and diagnosis, capabilities of detection of high consequence economic pathogens, and building profiles with emphasis on the viral hemophagic fever. With support from the John D. and Catherine T. MacArthur Foundations through the University of Aberdeen, Nigeria, his work has focused surveillance of human-animal disease specialty, specifically rabies of the clinical, serological, and spatio-temporal epidemiology, with the identification of risk patterns, foci, and hotspots of dog bite cases across major Liberia cities. Dr. JOMAH served as a part-time lecturer of 305 Management, University of Liberia from 2002 to 2008. In 2017, he was the National One Health Technical Advisor. Preparedness and Response, USAID Liberia, and initiated the launch of the first National One Health Coordination platform meeting and the first observance of International One Health Day in Liberia. Dr. JOMAH has authored and co-authored more than 6 publications. He is a team player, a hard worker, and a dedicated Liberian. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. JOMAH. Back to you, Mr. Garley.
Thank you. At this time, we want to say a big welcome to you, Dr. NYKOI JOMAH. I believe NYKOI is the way your name is pronounced. Welcome to the show. Just give us a minute or two with your opening statement, Dr. JOMAH. Doc, are you there? I can hear you, Doc.
Well, thank you for
Hello, Doc.
allowing me to appear on your plan puts it. NYKOI.
Yes.
Hello.
Now we're getting you.
Am I clear?
Loud and clear. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So as the introduction puts it, I'm Dr. NYKOI JOMAH. I have a doctorate degree from the University of Ibadan in Nigeria. I worked at several institutions at the University of Liberia, then over to the Ministry of Agriculture, then down to the Central Agricultural Research Institute, where I currently head the livestock aquaculture inland fishery program. I'm a team player, and I'm a person that calls a spade a spade. I don't backbite. That's who I am.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, if you just joining us, we have with us tonight Dr. JOMAH from CARI. Now, Doc, you are the director for livestock, agricultural, and inland fisheries program at CARI. Now, is this position a permanent one, or you just doing some type of consultancy?
It's a permanent one, and it is a civil servant position. So it is not a presidential appointed position. I was appointed, written sometime back in 2018 to head that program, and there where I've been until current time.
Okay, and now tell us about the major challenges and progress being made there at CARI.
Well, CARI has several problems, from administrative down to acquiring implements, trying to work along with partners. They have been difficult over the period. And one of the major challenges we have at CARI is to have donor support or donor-funded program to fund these kind of programs. And I think basically it stems from administrative. As you know, the president appoints Director General of CARI. And if you have been to other research institutions, yes, indeed, the head may appoint, but is sometimes in a position where it is much more independent. Research institution has got to be independent, far away from politics. Take, for example, let me just say this. You've worked with an institution or you work for CARI for 3, 4, 5 years. You have the requisite qualification to be your Director General. But then the president appoints someone who have not been in the entity. So it demotivates people. And if you look at our act that established CARI, the act is not clear or specific and says how long a Director General remains into office or stays into office. And those to reform the act so that it can be on par like other research institutions or bodies around the world, which have been very, very difficult. And so sometimes when a donor or partner comes in, the first thing they want to know, okay, how are Director General come in? I mean, how are they selected? And if you just say, well, you know, Director General are selected, they are appointed by the president, they want to know how. Do they go through the chain? Are they researchers, or is it a political appointed position? And so those are some of the ills that have, one way or the other, brought us back. And it's so difficult to partner with others because people want to see an institution that is not biased, an institution that is not politicized. And that's how it is around the world. And so that's how we want it for the Central Agricultural Research Institute.
So is CARI meeting?
And that has not been.
Is CARI meeting its statutory mandates?
No, absolutely not. CARI is not meeting its statutory mandate.
And what's that?
And there are 7 programs. Well, there are several programs for CARI currently. One that I had, the livestock. You got the machinery, you got the crop. But we lack, first thing, support. Finance is a major problem, and government is constrained. They cannot, well, CARI before in the past was funded by USAID, and they provided all the support, laboratory, and training for researchers, programs, partnership. Unlike now, it is very difficult, highly impossible. And so you find most of the programs are either slack or slightly dead or just not working. But it requires, it's not impossible, but it requires time, it requires people that have the skill, and it has to be depoliticized. That's one thing. If our government is to ensure we have self-sufficiency in food production, where CARI provides support to the Ministry of Agriculture and conduct research in order that will be farmer-driven in order to meet the needs of our farmers out there. It's about time we depoliticize the agricultural research sector and go strictly into agriculture. And that's not the case currently at the Central Agricultural Research Institute in Liberia, Swakopmund County.
Dr. JOMAH, please describe for us your working relationship with the ORC, the officer in charge, Miss Paulette Finlay?
Well, the working relationship is poor. Basically, Madam Finlay was there sometimes 2017 as administrator. When I came home on my doctoral, to conduct my doctoral work in Liberia, I got dismissed because when I came, we had a meeting. At the time, the director was, Walter T. was for other Liberia. But we had a meeting in the conference room to look at the act and see how we can reform CARI to let it fit into current reality, like other research entities around the world. And when Director Was came in, Madam Finlay, I don't know how she relayed it to the director, but she drew up a dismissal letter. That was 2017, the latter part of Madam Salif's administration. And they had me, she had the director sign that letter, and they had me dismissed on grounds for asking question. I was dismissed for asking question. And it was to meet the president. And Madam Salif was able to call in her legal officer, Madam Gray, and said, but Dr. JOMAH, I just can't dismiss anybody for asking questions. So something must be the cause. And through the investigation, that's how I would discover that, well, it was wrong. You couldn't dismiss somebody for asking questions. So have Dr. JOMAH reinstated along with his colleague and pay him all his back pay and benefit. And Madam Finlay wrote 2 letters, and she insisted that I would not be reinstated. Madam Finlay put her foot, Madam Salif she was very stern in her position, and Madam Finlay finally reinstated me. Now, 2018, President Weah won the election. Madam Finlay was there also as an administrator. And when I came back 2018, there were several issues. One, there were containers on mail lodged at CARI before, and they left their materials with CARI when they were leaving, pulling out. And those containers that were there, estimated cost millions of dollars with mechanical parts, metal sheets, zinc, air conditioner, poly tanks, you just name it. And Madam Finlay was engaged in selling these containers, taking cross-rack away and other things. And I did a communication in my possession, asking the then Director General, let's invite the Liberian National Police in to do an in-depth investigation. Well, that did not go well with Madam Finlay. And she raised her brows. She got very, very angry. And the Director Jones went through the investigation. And some part along the path, there was some argument, and Madam Finlay slapped him into the face, spit on his face, cursed him, and threatened to kill him. And that's how he dismissed her November 2018. November 2018. And she threatened that she was going, and she was going to meet the Honorable Nathaniel F. McGill, and she was going to come back as the director for CARI.
Let us backtrack a little bit. You see, it's very hard to build your reputation, and somebody can damage it in a day. Do you have proof that Madam Finlay was selling these things as you alleged tonight?
Yeah.
And what?
Yes, there was an in-depth investigation.
Go ahead.
There was an in-depth investigation that was conducted by CARI, and they came up with a report. And Front Page Africa also conducted an investigation, and it is there September 18, and that report is published. We'll forward it to you to see it with CARI's report. And Madam Finlay's name was in there mentioned. And additionally, she was taxed by the management for these things. There was hustle, and there was yelling and shouting that they did not give her due diligence to explain her part. The investigation said no.
Now they alleged stealing and selling equipment belonging to CARI. Was this done during the previous government or under President Weah's administration?
Yeah, it was done during President. Well, it was done during the administration of President Weah 2018. Yes, that was done during 2018 during the administration when President Weah came to office.
So according to you, that you have evidence in the newspaper, why is she still the head of KOI?
Well, that's the question. That's the question everybody asks. But more to that, after she was dismissed in November, she threatened that she will come into Monrovia and she was going to meet Honorable Nathaniel F. McGill and she was going to come back. Well, nobody believed that. But it soon got believed and it got accepted when she was appointed sometimes 2019 June as officer in charge. So Madam Philly was quite correct that she was coming back, and she is back. Now, this is where she is. She has tried to dismiss me before, refused my admittance into KOI, and things that she did, $93,000 United States dollars with $3 million. Those are things that I spoke about. But Madam Philly at that time, when she was administrator, she did not have the authority to do anything about it. Now, here she is. She has come back as the head. She is the complainer now and the judge. So she has the power in her hand. And there are evidence to that. She says she has money, she has power, she knows people, and she's going to make sure what I acquired, my PhD over the years, she's going to make sure it's going to be useless. And that is what Madam Philly is up to, and that's what she's doing. She has high connections.
But Dr. JOMAH, we're also told that you stole from KOI. How true is that information?
Well, that is very, very far from the truth. Why? Let me just explain why that came up. There are several reasons that Madam Philly took me to court that I stole 10,000 United States dollars. One, the continuous, the letters is there that I wrote, requested the Director General for an in-depth investigation. That did not go down with her. One. Two, Madam Finlay had the HR cabinet folder into her office, and she's not an HR. And what she does, put fills into people's folder and employ. In fact, that was brought the conflict between she and Director Jones. And at the end of the day, she slapped him and he dismissed her. Three, when she came in, sometimes 2018, when she got appointed by the Executive Mansion 2018, there was something that came in called the staff salary bonuses. It was 93,000 United States dollars with 3 million Liberian dollars. Madam Philly hosted a meeting. I was in that meeting somewhere, Pinsway, the town hall. And I raised concern. I said, but why are we having the meeting here? And my colleague next to me said, well, Dr. JOMAH, let's just leave. Let's go through the meeting. Then she said in there where I was dismissed, sometimes November 2018. Now that I'm back January, I'm going to take all my salary from these staff salary bonuses. So I objected. I said, no, Madam Finlay, you cannot. She said, why? I said, well, because one, you were dismissed. Two, you did not come, you did not go to court. You did not win any case. Three, you did not come back into the same position. And so you are not required. You didn't work for that money. Well, she got very furious and angry. So when she finally rested at KOI as the officer in charge, there finally one more money came in. B-Head is in America there. I will give you the contact. They requested that in fact, they were going to send about $500,000 United States dollars at the Central Agricultural Research Institute. One, for training of fish farmers. Two, for construction of 6 fish ponds. 3, for preparation of fish feed and meal. That is one of the major constraints, challenges we have here in Liberia. How do farmers feed their animals? They import the local, the imported feed is so high. So at the end of the day, if they do or sales, they don't even come out together, return on their sales. So that's one of the major training that will fall the B-Head part. See how we can formulate feed. And it was said that I should be a signatory to that account. That was last year. Well, but I think they did not make me a signatory to the account. When the money was about to be wired, and it was asked whether Dr. JOMAH is a signatory to the account, and principally because I've worked on UC projects before. Additionally, I'm a MacArthur Fellow, so people go into in-depth investigation before they trust with the kind of money. And Madam Philly said, yeah, Dr. JOMAH is a signatory. And then she comes, because obviously they will verify it. And then she comes running to my office. It's just a single office between hers and mine. which is Abibatu and Kruma. She comes running to my office, stepping on my toes, says, yeah, Dr. JOMAH, you're a signatory to the account. And I said, no, I'm not a signatory to the account. And she got angry. Now, when she started to walk out of my office, she took her phone to her ear and said, I'm calling Honorable McGill. Whether she was calling him or not, I don't know, but that's what she said. And she walked out of my office. And I believe that is where she put together this plan. Let's get Dr. JOMAH out of here, because now we want to sell this containers. Currently, there is an investigation that is going to ongo sometimes today.
Dr. JOMAH, here you are accusing Ms. Finney of stealing equipment belonging to Carrie. On the other hand, when I spoke to her yesterday, she said to me that there's a warrant out for your arrest for stealing. So who's telling the truth?
The facts are here. You can do a background investigation, come into Liberia or send someone, a team here, they will tell you. Madam Finlay has told all the lies. And that's why I continue to say to the president when I was protesting for 15 days, Madam Finlay has institutionalized crime at Carrie. In fact, perhaps when she was speaking to you, maybe if it were on a live crime, she would begin to cry. That's how she conducts herself. She cries crocodile tears. And most people get carried away. And the warrant she spoke about, there was a warrant out, but this is how it happened. When I protested the executive mansion, sometimes for a month plus period, I showcased these things that Madam Finlay has done. And so she got furious and angry why I had to talk about her stealing of the $93,000, the $3 million, the containers, the behead money, and what have you. And so she took me to court. She took me to the Maria City Court and had me charged for harassment, criminal cohesion, and menacing. Now, that's not what made me afraid. What scared me was on the 2nd of this month, while I was driving my vehicle somewhere along SKD Boulevard and 72nd, I stopped. There was a car that was following, but I did not take notice, but I saw it before. When I stopped, a vehicle stopped the opposite lane and 3 guys came out. That was around 6:15, round at 6:20. That's a long stretch of road. And that's how they attacked me. In fact, they told me that Madam Finlay would say we should take you to your house or we should kill you. You hear that? That was on the 2nd. If you go to my page, you will see it. I put an SOS call to the international community, to the Council of Churches, to the Adventist Church, to the civil society, you just name it. And we begin to tussle. That's how I even snapped the rate of arrest. I said, let me see the rate of arrest before they did that. And I'll snap it with my camera. But then they had guns. 2 of them had guns, and one pulled out a knife. And then we tussle. My name now has become a hustle name. And that's how the passerby came to the scene. And these guys, my lawyer and some human rights institution, they say, find somewhere to be. And that's how I went to my cousin's place. And I told my family, I said, you'll try to be indoor by 6 o'clock or by 5:30, like we're going to be in there. And I was in there. Now, that was on the 2nd. On the 3rd, on the 4th, then Madam Finlay went and posted that thing on Facebook that Dr. JOMAH is in hiding, he's hiding from the law. No, I was seeking refuge for my life. And that's how it had been. Even at Carrie, there is video documentary evidence where they were taking me to kill me on the quarter. You saw them with a knife. Alone. I went to work and they jumped on me, broke my car. So this is how it has been at the Central Agricultural Research Institute. And that's the reason why I've been calling on the President Weah. I only knew him once. That was from Scarborough, 1983, when we was classmates, 1983. Even Honorable Nathaniel F. McGill, I don't know him. But how did we come together? Because of the appointment. People that you appoint are ambassadors. Yeah.
Now, I saw some video that you sent me where you were those bruises on your arm, and you claimed that you were sent to jail. Why were you arrested, and why were you sent to jail?
Went back to Cary. Normally, Cary, we work there. Our family live in other communities, away from Banga. So normally over the weekend we go home, and on Sunday we return. When I returned from home, and I drove towards my residence, my car got besieged. If you look at the video, you will see them standing around there. They got besieged by these guys. But cleverly, what Madam Finlay did when she came over 2018, they had for the security a nice gentleman called David Takwe. She removed him and brought in an ex-general, former ex-general, demobilized ex-general of Sam Lewis, who's very notorious and he's well known, because when I sent his document to some institution, rights institution, they were able to identify him. Say, this is one of the gentlemen that caused crime, that created chaos that we need. But however, the War Economic Crime Code has not been signed, so we just have to let it rest. And so she brought in Sam Lewis, so to put fear into the people. And so that's why Sam Lewis gave the order on behalf of Madam Finlay, said, do not permit Dr. JOMAH to get to his residence. And that's how they besieged my car. I couldn't leave. You hear the police officer stopping them from breaking into my vehicle, Chris Gono. And however, but when he went home, the next morning, that's how they arrested me when I got down to go and get food. They arrested me, put cuff on my hand, and took a knife and threatened to kill me if I shake or I don't follow them. So you will see me, I'm recording. Now, mind you, they were heavily under the influence of drugs. So I was doing the recording, and they just were not even observing what I was doing. And so I recorded that all the way to the police station. And in fact, the police even attempted arresting them, because when we got there in SKT town, the police told them, said, but why are you doing this to Dr. JOMAH? Dr. JOMAH is a staff. You shouldn't be doing this. And that's how they fled. They tried to arrest them and they fled. But then, interestingly, I was asked to remain there. There was a call that came. I didn't know. So I just assumed it was for my security. So I parked my car there and I was there. The next day, the same guys that arrested me, put cuff on my hand, they took me to Banga, where the director, the head for police, one Frederick Nepe. Look, I've been through a lot of humiliation. Frederick Nepe told me, say, well, Dr. JOMAH, you are arrested, you will be here, we'll have to carry you to court. I said, what? Why is it for? I said, well, because you should not have gone to Cary. I said, but I work with Cary. How would I go to my working place? And Frederick Nepe detained me. He kept being on the line with somebody, I don't know who we were talking with, in Monrovia. He detained me, had me in jail. There's a guy from the human rights section, they call him Sam. It was Sam who came and pleaded with him, but Dr. JOMAH has done nothing wrong. So later on, about 8 o'clock in the night, he came to Dr. JOMAH, you can just breathe in the yard, don't go anywhere. But the thing here is political, and I want to protect my job. And that's how they took me to court.
Okay.
And they charged me for criminal cohesion, something like that.
Wow. Now you also now that we have some leak tips out there with Miss Finlay. Where is the source of the tip? Where did the tip come from? The recording out there.
Well, I think that's a conversation between she and David Tukba, the head for the Natural Resource Department program at Cary. I think one person may have been recording, probably David. And I think there is some issue between David and Paulette. And so I think that's how that tip came to the public domain. But Paulette tried to get rid of him, something I was told. And I think they tried to use this tip to secure his job. And then by one way or the other, as fate will have it, the tip got into the public domain. And exactly what I've been saying. So the tip just verifies and validates what I've been saying over the period. If you listen to that audio, you hear them laughing on how they got me out of there at Cary. And then how they plan to take away this machine. In fact, she had been invited to the house.
So according to you, when David was recording Paulette, did he tell her that she was being recorded?
Well, I wouldn't know. I really know, because I wasn't there. But sometimes if you are discussing I don't know, if you are discussing, if someone intends to tell you, say, well, they are threatening you, And when you ask and say, okay, let me record what you are saying.
But do you think it's the right thing?
Obviously not.
Do you think it's the right thing to do to record somebody without telling them?
Well, I wouldn't really know. I'm not a legal expert, but in case the person feels threatened or you are talking about killing him or taking his life, like what those guys did to me, if I had a way to record them, I would have recorded them.
Do you also know
I would not ask them for their permission.
Do you also know that recording somebody without telling them is not admissible in court, according to our law? Do you know that?
Well, I don't know, but where it comes to the threat of life and there is substantial evidence, I don't know, sometimes probably it can become a jury hearing, and then where the jury will go and look at the rationale. And once it's authenticated.
But if you are a very credible guy, why should you worry about secretly recording people? Just go and state the facts and leave it in the hands of the jury.
Well, probably. But like I said, that recording came to the public domain, and it raised a whole lot of eyebrows here in Liberia. In fact, Madam Philly have been cited to the house by the chairman on Fishery and Agriculture Autonomous Agency, Honorable Henry Tupper. Today, Wednesday, she's supposed to appear, but I understand that she asked for excuse to give a few days to respond to that leakage because it's very, very clear. It's clear, and that's exactly what she did before she traveled. And the generators, the machine that was stolen, they are all there.
Now, you also claimed that you have not taken your salary for the past 11 months. Help us understand. I know I'm not accustomed to working for free. Why wouldn't they want to pay you?
Well, Madam Finley, you know, I had just returned from study. And I had to pay some of my bills because of the Ebola virus at that time at the University of Ibadan in Nigeria. And so when I returned, so Madam Philly feels what Madam Philly feels is that once I have access to resource, I will be able to fight or get my things going. So she has seized my salary in order, and exactly what she said in what she told me on a recording. I will make it simple. I will make it crazy. I will make it anywhere. I would dismiss you. So she has held on to my salary. Mind you, January, the Justice Minister called this case. There was a conference call in the presence of Liberian National Bar Association President Tiawon Gongolo, G. Kennedy from the Lutheran Church, Attorney Robert Juto. I was there, Dr. JOMAH was present, Paula Finley, Vanessa Kuhn, the HR. And the Justice Minister asked, what's the situation? And Dr. Finley said, well, you know, we took Dr. JOMAH to court. So, okay, and then what happened? He said, well, I abandoned the court, and the police people say that Dr. JOMAH is culpable, so I dismissed Dr. JOMAH. So the Justice Minister took the glasses from his head and said, no, Madam Finley, you can't do that. You have gone to court. Okay, what is the outcome? There were no outcome. I just fired him. So the Justice Minister turned to me. You got any dismissal letter? And honestly, I have never seen any dismissal letter. And this is what Madam Finley does. She goes into the folder. And what she said, well, I just signed a dismissal letter and put it in the JOMAH folder. The man said, no, it is wrong. For me, yeah, right now, in fact, I listened to this recording. It is very bad. That means it shows there's no good working relationship. You cannot go around threatening people this way. For where I stand, make sure you pay Dr. JOMAH his 6 months money, because that was from August to January. Pay him and let him go back to his work area. I have not been dismissed. But why I can't go to work because of the threat of my life? They tried to take my life. They marked me out there with knife to my throat. And that's how you see I have not been to Cary. I'm working away from Cary. So the man told him, you have to pay Dr. JOMAH all his money. Every month you have to pay him. So pay him his money. When we came down the stairs, she came closer to me and said, I'm going to Honorable McGill place, Nathaniel McGill. I'll go to McGill. Yeah, that the Attorney General says something, and she refused. And since January up to today, Madam Philly has refused. It just, I think, 2-3 weeks ago, from intervention for other stakeholders, she was able to pay me about 1.5 months. And she still has about 10 months in arrears for me. Then additionally, the INHCR wrote her on allegation of human rights abuse, threats, arbitrary arrest, detention, insults. But I feel refused. So they say she's not going anywhere. And up to today, she has not. So that was perpetrated my stay in action hunger alert at the seat of the presidency at the mansion. And then I extended it to the American embassy, requesting their intervention.
Now, before getting the justice minister involved, I'm pretty sure that there are several ways to ask for your salary. You know, you first deal with HR, and then you go to the labor ministry and get them involved. But in your case, you took your plea to the executive mansion where you started to protest, and you stayed there for this. Just this morning, we saw you at the residence of the president. Were you protesting this morning?
No, I did not go to protest.
What were you doing?
I did not go to create. I actually went to seek an audience. So if you saw those placards, it's like, "Good morning, Mr. President, kindly grant Carrie an audience." Because I have previously written a letter requesting, making a self-invite. And once you do not respond, we take it for a yes. And so that's how I drove over to the residence of the president. And I was told, well, the president is under lockdown. Even though the media, they say the president doesn't go anywhere. When I left, the president came out and went to the ministerial complex. So, but however, it just confirms and affirms that the president is aware of what is happening to me at the Central Agricultural Research Station.
Now, why is Miss Paulette Finley after you? Is she afraid that you want to take her job? Now, there are some who feel that you are more qualified to be the head of CARI. How do you respond?
Well, I think the reason why Madam Finlay is bothering me is because of my stance on good governance, the level of integrity I possess. Believe me, if you go now to the Central Agricultural Research Institute, nobody loves Madam Finlay. Nobody likes her, but they will be too afraid. Besides, D. Jugbe Nangwe, he's the only person I see with Arthur Winnie that stands up. So Arthur Winnie, in fact, Arthur Winnie has been also named taken off the payroll because in that recording, you heard her talking about those things to steal and sell. It was what they did before she traveled to the United States December. And so when she came back, she said, why will Arthur Winnie bother me? These things that we stole to sell, he went and discovered them. So I will fire you. You hear that? You see that gross human right violation, abuse of somebody, right? Because the man found these things that you stole and you sold. And you took the man's name off the payroll. I mean, it was not hidden. So I will take the name off the payroll. You hear that? You see what we're going through in Liberia? The rule of law. And that's what Madam Finlay continued to do to me because I don't stand for that. I just don't stand for that. And one person who says no is no. And when it comes to integrity, when it comes to money matter, I am very, very, very much 100%. I don't eat people money. And then at the end of the day, go and make false document. And so Madam Finlay say, well, we have to get Dr. JOMAH out of here. Okay, JOMAH stays here, I would not do these things. And that is the reason why she's so after me. But besides that, what's even more hurting is that the threat on my life. I have the right to live, free of humiliation, coexist with my family. I have to work anyway, to be happy. And this is what Madam Finlay has denied me and my family of. But every now and then, since
this is a lady who you claim does not listen. According to you, she didn't listen to the justice minister.
Indeed.
And you also heard her talking about, I am going to Natana Magil. I will be back on this job. You know,
she came back.
And despite all that you have explained, you still have not gotten any redress. Aren't you afraid for your life?
To some extent, I'm afraid. Because when I was protesting in front of the executive mansion, I received an anonymous caller, and they told me, "Is this Dr. JOMAH?" I said, "Yeah." So, you want to take the OMA for her job? Okay, we will see. And they hung up. And then several hours later, 3 guys came around and made some jab, dabbing their finger. "You JOMAH, over here you stay," and they just walked away. Then the incident on the boulevard again. Then the one previously at the Central Agricultural Research Institute. And this is why I continue to raise alarm, because as long as this thing progresses or it continues, if nothing is done about it, somebody may likely get hurt in the long run. And that's not going to be me, God forbid. And so that's why I'm calling on Mr. President. Now, it's interesting to note that when I launched this hunger alert in front of the executive mansion, and I extended it 2 days after I ended 2 days, I went to the American embassy up Benson Street, requesting, I didn't go there to protest, I went to request their intervention into the rule of law to be upheld at Cary. And then I submitted a petition, a 4-count petition. When Madam Finlay understood, when she heard that I was at the American embassy, she broke into my residence sometimes about a month and a half ago. She broke into my residence at Cary. She broke into it, she, along with Session BA, Sam Lewis, and Toga Gapu. And she took away priceless things, things of value she took away from my residence. She took away a water pump that I had for BHER project that Cary gave to my program. And this was a water pump she got behind me for initially for a gold work. She said she wanted to give it to one representative for gold. I said no. She broke in there, she took water pump, she took bowl rice, you just name it. And then interestingly, when she heard I was there, she went back to the loot and took my passport. She has got my passport currently as I speak. I have been asking the president, I have been calling on Honorable Nathaniel McGill, kindly have your presidential appointee return my things to my residence. Because when I requested the police head, Frederick Nepe, in Bond County, Frederick was clear. He told me, look, Dr. JOMAH, I would not send anybody to your house, not where I go there. Councillor Gongolo was there, Philip Gongolo, along with one actor went in. And when they asked him why, he said, well, because you went on Prophet Key show and they insulted Nathaniel McGill. So they say we shouldn't go to your house. Nobody should attend to you. No police should attend to you in Bond County. You hear that? Up to today, the case had not been lodged. Police had not documented it. But I feel it broke into my residence. She still has my things. She looted my things and she has got my passport. You see how wicked, how cruel it is? And this is a presidential appointee. That is the reason why I go to the president, resident, or the office of the president for him to call Madam Finlay and ask what the problems, what are their problems? And what are the problems? Can they be solved? But nothing has been done. And today is just make it clear that President George Manuel, His Excellence.
According to you, Dr. JOMAH, you went to school with the president in the 80s. Do you believe that the president
1983.
Is he aware of all that is going on?
Well, I think today, it makes it clear that the president is aware. Probably, he may not be giving the right story, because that's what I understand happens. They create a vacuum and they don't tell the president what the issues are. So he is aware, but the right story, I don't think he has really gotten it. He has gotten some misleading information. But by being at his gate today, there are cameras there. Security came out today and asked me who I wanted to say. I said the president. I did a letter, and they went in, I guess, to the protocol, and maybe they asked him or something, and say, well, tell Dr. JOMAH, the president on a lockdown. He doesn't go anywhere. But mind you, I was there when I think Honorable Kochi, the city mayor, came in. And I think I saw him through his vehicle, and he went in to the president on a lockdown. So, but you see, that's why I continue to say, and I've been sounding this alarm. Yes, appearing on all the platform is good, but I've now gone a step further to ask the international community, to ask stakeholders, please call President Weah directly or Nathaniel McGill. In fact, not President Weah, but Nathaniel McGill. Call him directly and speak to him on this issue, because there are evidence of human rights abuses and violations, and it is clear. There are lots of documents that I have given what the woman has abused me. They are there. They are facts. It's not hidden anymore. The whole of Liberia knows what's happening. All Liberia, everybody knows what's happening. And Madam Finlay always try to suck up them. If you call her now, she will talk something that happened 15 years. She will put lies together and say this and say that and try to take you off track.
Well,
but I've been resolved because we all can leave Liberia.
Dr. JOMAH,
we all can leave Liberia.
Dr. JOMAH, Liberia needs somebody like you. And you might be the only Liberian with a PhD in epidemiology. And what was the drive behind this field of study? And how does it help Liberia?
Well, as you will observe, most currently, where the drive is, I've always had the passionate I always had the passion for animal. I've been very passionate. Additionally, if you will observe, currently, there are almost 95% of diseases currently that plagues man are of animal nature. Zoonotic. Corona is believed that it came from pangolin, even though there are other theory that it was made for biological nerve, but let's agree that it came from Ebola, bats. So the importance of this profession is that we are able, if we have the requisite bacteria laboratory up and running, we can test our animals. You know that most of the animals that come in across the border, they don't only come for meat, but you know they come along with diseases. It's just that if you bring in an exotic plant, it comes in with other bacteria or other diseases you are introducing to your country. So most of the animals that come in, some of them even are tobacco. They have tuberculosis. They call it bovine tuberculosis, BTB. And bovine tuberculosis can affect human, brucellosis. So these animals are heavily affected. We're also ectoparasites. So this profession, it helps to prevent Liberia or Liberians being infected, because we'll be able to test one of diagnosis tests and say, well, this meat is not good for consumption. Burn it. So that's one of the relevant of the study, the field of profession. Besides that, you can do research. You go into vast research. What are the potentials? How many farmers growing or are breeding herds? The large ruminant, small ruminant, how many are there? And then you can be able to look at estimates, say, well, if I can work along with community A, community B over the period of time, looking at the period for which this animal will farrow, you can estimate that Liberia in the next 5-6 years, you will be able to have this amount quantity of animals to be able to feed the population. And then what it does is that it put money in the pockets of Liberians, because you create jobs for Liberians rather than bringing in the animal from Guinea or from Sierra Leone or across the border, and then you're taking all the foreign exchange. Well, when the animals are sold, the money is changed and the people carry their money back. So it helps to create jobs and make Liberia secure. And once you be able to create jobs and people will have money in their pocket, they can save. And when they save, it's a function they can invest. So you see how it is. And additionally, also to that, if we are able to create an environment where we can feed, have our own animals herd in maybe in 3 different locations in Liberia, it reduces the burden on the forest. In the next maybe 10, 15 years or 20 years from now, you will not have animals into your forest because people hunt these animals. But when you create an alternative source of livelihood for the people, because you can't go into the forest and tell the people, say, well, don't hunt, don't kill the animals. That's what the man's father was doing in order to sustain him. That's what the parents were doing. But you create an alternative source of livelihood. Let the man be able to produce his own meat, feed his own animal. Then definitely he wouldn't have the need to go into the animal to hunt the wild animal, because he has a cattle, he has goat, he has sheep, he has chicken.
Why are you so
that is
why are you so passionate about animals?
Well, I was small. I was very small growing up in Firestone, and my dad had a lot of animals. We had sheep, we had goats, and that love for animals is just there. And even sometimes it hurts me so badly. Sometimes if I go into the rural area, I see people, they trap these monkeys, and the monkey sometimes have only a single hand. The trap has cut off one of the hands, or even if you see how they transport animals. And that's why I hope the president can give us the time. Let's fix this country. Let's go into our animal rights law, because animals are abused into Liberia.
So
it's true.
So
you're gonna eat your animal, you're gonna eat your chicken. So when you hold your chicken by the neck and just turn it,
the way you're so passionate about animals that day, and you know, food business hat, they call dog issue. I know when you're a police director, you send a lot of people to jail.
Well, the law, we just need to strengthen our laws. Cruelty to animals is against the law. And why would you want to kill your pet? Or why would you want to kill your neighbor's pet? And dog is so close to man. Dog has been the animal that has been closest to man for centuries. Even if you don't have food, when you come home, the dog welcomes you. So it's a wrong thing to be cruel to an animal. And that's why I have this Western country that will make them good, because they strengthen the animal rights law. But yeah, see how they transport pigs or goat. They put it into the bag and they tie it up. Just imagine your human, if they tie you in one position, the blood is not going to flow. It affects you. Then you have an animal, you bring it from Lofa County or from Maryland County into a bag. These are things that we got to propagate, look at laws and refine our laws and create awareness. The animal is equal to, almost equal to you, not because they can't talk. So to be cruel to animals is wrong. It hurts me a lot of times. Sometimes I need to bring tears to my eyes when I see how these animals have been transported, how they are being treated cruelly. It hurts me.
The voice of Dr. NYKOI JOMAH in our studios tonight and calling from Liberia. And folks, we want to take his plea to the telephone line now. The telephone number to call is 248-979-1718. Do you have a question for Dr. JOMAH? Do you have a piece of advice for him? Now this is time to call. Well, Dr. JOMAH, you went to the Justice Ministry. You sent out letters to the President and to the Minister of the State. You have not received any redress from the letters. So, and according to you, you have also taken to several media platforms and nothing seems to be happening. What is the next step?
Well, I will continue to knock on the door of the President. I will continue to go towards the residence of the President. I may not go to his residence now, but I will find time and always go to the junction of rehab where it belongs to no one. You know, all along my protests, I have observed the law. I have not hindered movement for anybody. So I will be there. I will continue to go to rehab junction and continue to be there. Let the President see me every day. He has got to bring this matter to a close. He appointed Madam Finlay. He may not have known her, but he did the appointment and she represents him. So if she has instituted crime somewhere, have taken attempt taking my life, threatening other field workers. So I will continue my campaign. And it has yielded some fruit, because just about 2 months, about a month ago or less than, no, about 2 weeks ago, they made some payment. The finance ministry made two months payment out of 11 months. So we are getting somewhere, because they have acknowledged now that indeed they are indebted to Dr. JOMAH. So they have made 2 months payment, and I'm requesting for the balance 9 months adjusted salary. So that is my request.
The voice of Dr. JOMAH joining us tonight on British Radio Africa. Want to go to the telephone line now. We have Mr. Amos George on the line from Atlanta, Georgia. Hello, Amos. Welcome to the show.
Hello, John. How you doing, man?
Good. I'm doing well.
Yeah, I got a comment and a question from Dr. JOMAH. I have followed Dr. JOMAH religiously. This man is highly qualified, competent, and you can see this man's passion for Liberia. The laws he got for the country. Look at this man speaking. Look at the sacrifices he's making. And there's nobody, the public, to come to this man's rescue. He's risking his life just to benefit Liberia. But because our system is so corrupt, people see this man as an enemy. And the thing is, one thing, I'm from that region, and I follow this man very carefully. The education of that institution to the people of Bon County is very vital. And this man is fighting for the survival of that institution and the people that reside in that country and in the country. Because what he's talking about is something going to benefit the country. But here's my question to Dr. JOMAH. After all what you are going through, and I know I follow you. You are work for an international institution. You don't think it is now time that you just pack up and go into the private sector to live your life and move on and leave this government because the threat that are being posed to you and people in authority not listen to you. You want to be wise for you to just go into a private institution and see maybe what the next election will look like, Dr. JOMAH?
Thank you, Amos. Dr. JOMAH, you just heard Amos.
Yeah. Well, I've always said this. Why do you think people leave Liberia or Africa and go to Europe and the Americas? And when they return, they boast, America, you go Delaware, you go New York City. Wow, in Sydney, people say they are beautiful. People made sacrifices. People stood up for what was right. If the bad succeeds only if the good fail to act. So can everybody run away from home? If the scenario is created where everybody leave Liberia, then the bad definitely has won. So I don't see resigning an option. What I see in order to fix the system is to fight and have a fix. When a change has been made and come about, then it's time I say, yeah, I can resign and leave. But it's a wrong thing for anybody to threaten you, threaten your family, and then have you running away. It's not a good precedent. Then all of a sudden, the bad will just scare you, and then another person run, scare you, another person run, scare you, and then when you look, the country in the hands of the bad. Is that what we want in Liberia? I don't think so. So what I'm asking for, there are people. Yeah.
Other countries, like the industrialized ones, are not like Liberia or other third world countries. Now, for instance, I live here in America. The women, the children, the animals come first before us, the men. In Liberia, for example, where they are raping our young sisters, daughters, we can't get justice. And we are talking about animals. I'm not saying you are doing something wrong. If we can't find the perpetrators, if we can't bring these people to justice who are raping our children, what would they do about animals?
Well, that's why we need to rethink ourselves and try to define who really we are. Where have we come from? Where we are and where we want to go. I think the mindset, you see, like right now, people are crying, corruption. But corruption, and not only in government, it's down to the core of society, the family. So if people are up there are corrupt, where did they start? From the family. You would not believe it. Parents would take maybe $100, put it into that child, lunch kid, maybe 6-year-old or 7-year-old child, and say, carry this to the teacher. Let them help you. Or if you fail, the parents go and bribe. So corruption is everywhere. It's like so endemic and systematic. It like become a way of life. And because the family, the center of society, the family is so bad off, so it spreads off in society. So that's how it is. How many parents that their wives or their spouses know their salary? Not many persons.
Now, tell us about your political.
So it's something that we got to redefine ourselves. And
tell us about your political affiliation. Are you into politics? If so, which political party do you affiliate with?
No, I've never been a member of any political party. I've just been a professional. And I don't know, for one virtue or the other, I just don't trust politicians. Because see what's happening today. Tomorrow, let's assume George will leave office. Probably the next person that will even come, there will be even worse. They will tell you all the beautiful things. And one good thing, and I think it's because of illiteracy and ignorance in Liberia, to know someone, if they will be a good leader, you got to do a background investigation. Where did that person grow up? Their upbringing, what did they do? How did they conduct themselves among their friends? Were they, I mean, had they managed something before? But how many persons do that background investigation? People don't even think. You take them a bag of rice or a carton of flour and or money, and they're ready to give you a vote. So we got work to do in Liberia. Ignorance, I don't know why, but it has taken over our society.
Okay.
Culture of impunity.
Again, folks, if you're just joining us, this is Ashford Garley Live. Tomorrow we are going to play host to the shippers from here to Liberia. Those who ship containers to Liberia, they are concerned. They feel the government is not doing them justice. We had one of them here last week, and a popular demand, they are coming back tomorrow night. So Mr. Philip Woods will be our special guest, along with few of his colleagues in our studio tomorrow night. And then on Thursday, this is when we loosen up a little bit. We'll have Quincy T in our studio to make you live. And we'll also have Foreign War. He's a Liberian musician. He will be here to entertain us as well. We want to go back to the telephone line. The last 4 digits of your number, 4999. Tell us your name.
What's the area code, please?
The area code is 207.
Oh, yeah.
I believe this is Shao Thomas, correct? From Maine.
Yeah.
Welcome to the show, my brother.
Thank you. Yeah, Dr. JOMAH, I heard you saying that you want to make the difference, and when people run away, you know, I think the people got a good old saying. They said the soldiers that run away live to fight another battle. And if I were you, people had taken you to kill you, people threatening you, and then my advice to you, like the government you're dealing with, if it was some civilized government, I don't think all of these things were going to happen. But you are in a country, you are feeling a pain. I think my suggestion to you is to leave that country and see your children coming up, then to say, oh, Mr. JOMAH was fighting for the team, and one crazy lady went and then put him in his early grave because the woman feel inferior to you because you learn more than her, and the first thing, like what you were saying, the upbringing of the person, they are committed to the group or in, and you do all the background, you know that they are good leaders. But everybody in charge, if they were good leaders, they see you fighting. If the men good for Liberia, if they came from a good home and the men good for Liberia and Liberian people, but now they should have come, or they should have been there for your rescue, because the case is you've been going through the thing more than almost a year or more than 2-3 months. And then we had discovered all the corruption tips. And it was some civilized country.
Yeah.
That woman won't still be into that position, because it is a disgrace. Because thank God for technology. And what you're going through, my advice to you is be a coward soldier to live and see your children, than for uncivilized people to take you to your elder grave. Thank you.
Thank you. Dr. JOMAH.
Okay. I got that. We'll study the options.
Okay.
We'll study the options.
Now, you said you're not part of any political party. And let me ask you this. Do you hate George Weah?
No. I don't hate the president.
But why?
But what I do, what I do know is that the way how things are being conducted, particularly at the Central Agricultural Research Institute, I think it's about time the president gets involved, because this is a presidential appointment, and what the president does down there or doesn't do, it reflects on him, because a presidential appointee is an ambassador of the president. So that's why I hold the president responsible for this decision. And that's why I take my complaint to his office, and I continue to protest and ask his intervention.
And I'm pretty sure this is not the first time where people are saying to you that it's not worth it. The fact that you have complained on several occasions to the higher ups about what you're going through, they're all falling on deaf ears. But you still have some type of hope. Because according to you, just about a week and a half ago, you received 2 months payments, correct?
Absolutely. But that was, yeah, actually it is hope that keeps us going. Everybody, that little hope, that what keeps us going. And I think the government made this payment because there has been some other international gesture coming from the Council of Churches, Bishop Cotto Brown, the Justice Minister, I'm sure he's been speaking, the civil society, the Independent National Human Rights Commission, student body, the JPC, Foundation for International Dignity, Kongolo and Associates, Adama Dempster and Associates, Adama Dempster, the civil service community. So everybody have been into it. And I think that what led the government to say, and Madam Paula Fino say, well, let's pay Dr. JOMAH 2 months of his 11 months. And now I'm requesting for the balance 9 months and almost $500,000 Liberian dollars. That's what she has for me. And my homes that were looted, I want my things to return to my home, and I want my passport retrieved. She has got my passport.
Okay, we want to go back to the telephone line, and I believe we have the last 4 digits of your number, 4466. Please tell us your name.
My name is Mohammed Kamara. I'm calling from New York.
Welcome to the show, Mohammed.
Thank you. Is there any way I can get the doctor number? I'm interested in what he's discussing.
Okay. If I get his permission, I can share the number with you after the show.
I'm interested in fishing, and I'm interested in farming. I'm from Bon County too.
Okay.
So if I can get his number, that would be good.
Okay. Again,
he get me to let it go, man. I'm not gonna make it. That's all I gotta tell him.
Okay. Thank you.
It's time to let it go.
All right. Thank you, sir. Now, Dr. JOMAH, working, I understand you have passion for what you do. I know for a fact. That's one of the reasons why I can't pick up a job in Liberia, because I don't like to work for free, you know. And in your case, you worked and you didn't get paid for 11 months. You have family. How were you surviving?
Well, I got friends, loved ones, and at times they assist me. People overseas, class of '89, BWI, even people within government, even close to the president office. You know, there are people, lots of people in government. They see what is happening to me. They know it is wrong, but they are afraid to talk. So most of the times they render me assistant. But I tell them, let's go beyond that. Let's fix the issue down there. My job. So if we can have it fixed, because I'm not dismissed. I've never been dismissed from Carry. I still work for Carry. So I'm entitled to my benefits. And there's always hope and promises until I had to go on the strike. And then the international partners and other people have come into it. And so basically that's how I've been surviving. Additionally, my wife, she caters. She bakes. So at times, she's able to bake and be able to help the family survive. So that's how it has been. But yeah, I could probably leave Liberia, but there are lots of things attached, costs attached, finances, but more importantly, And I continue to say this. Should we run from problem? Particularly, you have not done something and someone just lied and want to drive you out, and then you go. Then next time, let's lie on him, and then Peter gone, then John gone. Then we look everybody gone out of the country. Is that how I continue to call on partners, and I'll be continue to call on the international community and the council of churches, the interfaith, the civil society. Let's go a step further now. Let's begin to take your phone and call Honorable McGill, call the president. Let's resolve this matter. Because running away is no option for me. And I'm so certainly sure as Jesus Christ that nobody going to take my life. And this is not healthy. It is because every time this thing goes on, it's a bad. I said it to the president. There are people that are observing, that are observers, they are taking down note. Tomorrow there will be questions. President Bana, we're not staying in office forever. What happens when you leave office tomorrow? You want to live at peace, and these charges come up. Dr. JOMAH was humiliated this period, this time, and he wrote for intervention. What did he do? What would you say? And that's why I continue to call upon his office. Probably he's not hearing the right thing. Kindly take custody of the office of the president. Do the right thing. This lady is a presidential appointee.
But
she has done all the wrongs. The facts are there. The evidence are clear, glaring.
Dr. JOMAH,
take the right decision.
Why this lady?
Save me, save my family. We cannot live in fear. We cannot be humiliated always. Someone holding on to my salary, that's a human right abuse.
Now,
what you, the president, people are watching.
Dr. JOMAH,
today there were a lot of international partners there.
Why this lady doesn't like to hear the name JOMAH or Dr. JOMAH, and why did she send people to ransack your home, took your personal belongings, including your passport?
Yeah, go ahead. You became broken.
And I mean, what? She doesn't like to hear your name. I mean, according to you, she ransacked your home, took your personal belongings, including your passport. And when I spoke to her yesterday, I mean, she was angry that she doesn't want to talk about this. There's a warrant out for your arrest, and you belong in jail. You are a criminal. Why does she hate you so much? What did you do to her? I can't hear you, Dr. JOMAH. You come in and out.
Well, I think one thing that hurt her once, I remember, because even my wife asked me, and I said, well, it's the right thing that I did. And if the situation occurs again, I will do it 1,000,000 times. She had the HR cabinet into. Yeah. Are you there?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Am I clear?
Yes.
Am I clear?
You are clear. Go ahead, Doc. Speak. We're listening to you. You're clear.
I think that hurt her. One thing that hurt the HR cabinet into her office, and I saw to it. It was like her strength. I saw to it that was removed from her office because she was no HR. She put fruits into people's folder, put a lot of false things there, employ and dismiss at will, and then it brought problem before her dismissal. So she came to my office after they took her away, and she cried. She cried bitterly into my office, and she asked me, Dr. JOMAH, why you had to do this? I said, well, Manafide, you are not the HR. Why will you keep the HR cabinet into your folder, into your office, and you continue to put filth into people's folder? That's what she's doing now. Most of the document that she will present are documents that she put together. So she cried, and I said, but I feel like if that happens again, I will remove from your office again. And she was very cross. She walked out of my office. Additionally, secondly, I think the evidence that I have, she want to bury these things. So trying to get to me, maybe, when you are dead, you can't explain anything. And so that's why she tried to take away these facts and this evidence. But there's no need, because I have given all up. It's all around. I've given it all out to the embassies, to the human rights section. So I don't have it with me. The one I have is just a copy. So it's just too late for that.
And she's your boss, correct?
Yeah, Madam Finlay, she is my boss. But mind you, the Act of Carry says the head of carry should have a professional degree. So number one, Madam Finlay does not even fit within that category. She does not have even a master's degree. And she is there, yet she is there as OIC. So you see where, and who would really want to work with somebody of a caliber when you do that fit the category of a research entity? Nobody will come. And that's why I try to explain to the government. I try to explain to the president. He gave me the audience. I will explain to him what research is all about and how it should be conducted and the benefits for Liberia. But he did not see me today. But I will try again.
But we are trained to respect our bosses. Is that because that you believe you're more qualified than her? Is that why you don't respect her?
No. I respect Madam Finlay. We differ on policy issue. And like one, well, Dr. JOMAH, I want to sell these containers. What is your view? Can we sell these containers? She told me about the container before. I said, no, we can't sell these containers. Why? You don't want to agree with me? But I feel it just, look, the person who loves you is a person that will tell you what they feel. They will not bend and say, okay, yeah, what color is this? This color is white. Even though it's not white. And you say, yeah, it is white. No, that's not who I am. I go right and grab the bull by the horns. If you ask me for this, I tell you what I feel. And those are some of the things that got Madam Finlay angry. The containers say it is wrong. Even I did a MOU. I was saying, you see it, I did a MOU. And in that MOU, it says specific that those that will bring animals, they will have to pay X, Y, Z into carrier's account in order to buy medication. And you won't believe it. I got that communication. Madam Finlay tells me, well, Dr. JOMAH, we cannot have a sitting lawmaker come down to carry just to sign an MOU. Excuse me. I said, why? I said, well, he's a lawmaker. I said, no, but I feel it. And not because he's a lawmaker. It's a law. The MOU protects the client and it protects carry. So if it says that the lawmaker should sign it, let him sign it. You say, well, I can't do that. I said, well, then what? Heck? Say, well, send it to me. Print it out and send it to me. I said, but I feel it is wrong. There's my program. You are the head, but you cannot do it this way. So, however, I said, I will send it soft copy to you. You can go ahead and do as you wish. Why Dr. JOMAH, I told you, and print it out and have the lawmaker come bring it to Monrovia and he said, lawmaker should come to Liberia. She got angry. I got her communication. So it's just a matter of regulation and policy. And she wanted to do the wrong thing. And I said, no, let's do it this way. And that's why she differed with me. And not only me. I'm also Arthur Winne and one D. Dugbe, the controller that was forced from his office. That's another story.
Okay. Well, folks, again, if you just joining us, this is Ashford Garley Live on Bridge Radio Africa.
So here that's where we stand.
From 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. And that, any concerns about the overall governance of Liberia under the current leadership? Let's start with national security. Oh, the internet business in Liberia. Are you there, Doc? Did you get the question?
No. You hear me connected. Please go ahead.
What I said, any concerns about the overall governance of Liberia under the current leadership? And
yeah.
Let us start with national security.
Well, I think there is a need because you can only have investors coming in when you have a secure environment where investors will feel secure. where their investment will be protected. I think the government, there's a need the government works with stakeholders, with other political parties. In fact, if I had the government, I would prefer working along with opposition. I would hear them what they think and feel about me and get their advice. That is a need. And as regularly you look into the media or you read the newspaper, there are institutions that are pulled out. Like the German government, they are pulling out of Liberia because of government failure to conform to reforms. The Millennium Challenge Compact, Liberia failed the Millennium Challenge Compact because government is not doing what they ought to do. So there is a need that government have the qualified and requisite people into this position. Because you see, it's not the president alone that suffers. The citizenry suffers. When you don't have investment coming in, when you don't have the people unemployed, when the people are not employed to get income, then you find crime. Like right now, the crime rate is so high. By 7 o'clock into my community somewhere around the Smite Road, you got to be careful if you walk there just by 7:15, 7:20. People are going to snatch your phone and walk away. So there is a need that government revisit and rethink her policy, her strategy. And you cannot keep your people in fear, because the more you put people in fear and people leave, or anytime someone demonstrates or protests, it creates a situation of uneasiness. Nobody will want to come and invest. And that's not what we want Liberia to do. We have to listen to all and work together. The president is the president for Liberia, not a political party. So I think he should listen. He should listen. It's Liberia that suffers. The people suffers. And it's not good for our country at this time.
Why the president is so quiet? Why he doesn't talk? Why he doesn't say anything?
I really don't know. I mean,
Again, we're having some internet issues. Yeah. Dad, are you there?
Why he don't like currently? Yeah, Brother Zobon.
Yeah, go ahead. I can hear you now.
Yeah. There was a call that was coming in. So I think there is a need. It's not only the president, not only silent on my matter alone, but on the increase of rape and violence, sexual and gender-based violence. Now there are institutions that are calling on the president. You got to make a statement, make a policy, say something. So probably it just is maybe his upbringing is a quiet man. But as a leader, he needs to speak out.
Hold on 1 minute. Pinky Lee Jones, please stop what you're doing. You were here as Miss Sawyer. Now you got a different name and you're distracting the show. Please stop it. Thank you. Go ahead, Dot. Go ahead, Dot. Again, ladies and gentlemen, we have Dr. JOMAH here tonight.
Just his working style. Have the courage.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead and your statement.
So he just needs to muster up and have the courage. So maybe that's his style of leadership.
Okay. Now, let us talk about healthcare for a minute. When you get sick, according to most of the folks back home, preventable diseases, if they don't take you to next door neighbor, Ghana, you would die. And I'm pretty sure things are a little different now. But what do you make of the healthcare system in the country?
Well, the healthcare system is not getting the required support. In fact, I think I understand that this recent past budget is cut by some percentage. And I think there's a need that we look at the healthcare system, because Liberia being the oldest, almost the oldest on the continent, independent first. Why would someone get sick and then you go to Ghana or you go to Nigeria when we have our facilities? We just need to have qualified people and have the right people into the right position and put in what we have. There are people that die all from malaria. I just lost one of my sisters. She died from malaria. Neighbors in the community, sick, come down malaria. And then people seek herbal treatment, go into the sick bush, as they say it. We need to redouble up as a country. We must not be leaving Liberia to go to other countries for treatment when we can fix our own. There are a lot of people out there, but first we got to create the environment that will be safe. That anybody will feel secure. Yes, I can go back to Liberia, I can work, nobody will threaten me, I can go to the law, I'll have speedy access to justice, the police will work. But as it is now, what is happening, take for example, my case, who will want to come in and say, well, let me go back home and invest? Everybody will be afraid. And that's why I continue to ask my leaders to see me as a supporter. We want to fix the system. I'm not your adversary. I'm a Liberian and I want to help. Let's fix the system.
Now, according to the wise man, I believe the name is Jim Rohn, he said life change does not start with motivation. Life change does not start with inspiration. Life change starts with education. What do you make of the educational system in our country?
But it's not too good. Since the war, things had been going down the drain. And like even now, I hear students preparing for the WIAC. How prepared are they? How prepared are they to go on, to compete with other students out there in the region? And you find most of the youth, they are self-supported. The parents are unable even to meet their needs. Parents are jobless. The education system is not too good. It's not too good. There is a need that we redouble our effort. Because I taught at the university. From 2002 to 2008. And mind you, I taught a junior course at the university, and I saw what it was like. And then what more? 2008, and now it's 2015, 2020. There is a need. We have to do something about our country. And it's only Liberian ourselves can fix this country. It's not by putting fear into the few educated people and having them run away from their jobs. No, it's not good for Liberia. Today, there was an incident that occurred today between Honorable Yakia Kolibai and I think 102. And that alone, it put fear into people. So this is something that we really have to rethink. Liberia, I don't know, it's just like everything is just like falling apart. Everywhere there's a demonstration, there's a protest, there's a riot going on every day. We have to do something, or else we are slipping back into trouble. And it's something that the last thing that anybody would want. We know where we came from. You saw what happened. Do we want to experience another? I think the answer is no. But it's about time that we all listen. It's about time that our leaders don't see themselves as demigods, but see themselves as public servants of the people and listen. Listen, and let's fix this country.
Again, folks, we have with us tonight Dr. JOMAH. He's joining us from Monrovia, Liberia, and he's our special guest tonight. Tomorrow, we're going to play host to Mr. Philip Woods. Philip Woods represents the Shepherds Association of Liberia. Those are the guys responsible to, get the continents ready for Liberia. They believe the government is trying to put them out of business. So they have a few concerns that they need addressed tomorrow. So they are going to be in studio tomorrow night. And then on Thursday, we'll play host to Quincy T. Wild Jolett, a Liberian comedian, a businessman. And before this, after Quincy, we'll have Foreign War. He's a Liberian musician based in the diaspora. He's one of the talented Liberian musicians we can boast of. So he will come to showcase his talent tomorrow, Thursday night. Tomorrow is Philip Woods. And tonight we have with us Dr. JOMAH. Now, Dr. JOMAH, earlier today, you were at the residence of the president, and it was very peaceful. The security apparatus were friendly. They came, they greeted you, and they allowed you to stay there for a while until somebody else came and asked you people to go to the office. What was that conversation about? Tell us about the conversation with you and the lady.
Well, we arrived there around about 9:18 at the home of the president. And in fact, I even passed his gate because I really don't know the area well. And then one of the sympathizers, no, that's the president's yard. And we made a U-turn. And I went directly into his yard, to his gate. And had it not been for the gate closed, I would have gone in. But the gate was closed, so I stopped there, and the security came and beckoned me, my name and what I was there for. And I told him the purpose. Say, do you have an appointment? I said, yes, I wrote the president. And I also wrote the justice minister. And silent, even though they didn't respond, but I take that for a yes. So that's why I came today. So they said, okay, but there's the entrance. Would you mind parking right on the parking lot just behind the other car? And I said, yes. And I revoiced and I parked there. And then he said, well, let me go into the protocol to see what the arrangement like. And this guy in the yellow vest went in, he stayed a while, and he came out. And then he said, well, the president is on a lockdown, but however, just hold on, I'm coming. And then he went again. Then another officer came, our lady, Deborah. And then she came in and said, well, the president on a lockdown, and he's not going anywhere. So if there's anything, you wouldn't mind going to the office? And I told her, well, I would mind going to the office, certainly, because I've been there before. I was there for almost like a month plus on hunger alert there. And nobody actually came to listen to what happened. And so going there again, I really won't have time for that. So once the president, we can observe social distance. You can permit me to see him. I don't have to be close to him. We can have social distance. I got my mask on and we can talk. And he said, well, the president right now on a lockdown. But in fact, while in that process, I think Honorable Kochi came, Jefferson Kochi. I think that was him I saw today in his car, and he won a glass down and he drove in. So I told her, I said, well, the president on lockdown, but yet and still, the president will go to function. I think he was in Kakata or Magibi the last time. And sometimes he went, I think, to across the bridge to look at something, I think, unveiling or something like that. Or the road, the road under construction. Well, she didn't answer anyway. And then other international journalists were there. There were many of them there across the road taking pictures and taking documentary, information. And we talked for a while, almost 45 minutes. And I did not want them to see me as an antagonist or being forceful. So they asked me, well, you can go towards Total gas station somewhere across the road there and park there. And then if you want to protest, you can remain there. So I asked them, but why can't I be here? I'm not protesting. Say, well, there's a residence of the president. And so anyway, at least an objective was met. And I therefore concluded that the president is aware of what is unfolding. Probably the facts, maybe he doesn't have it, but he is aware. Because there were cameras all over. I'm sure they saw me. And they took that message in, that there was someone out there. And so one way or the other, it was fruitful. And that's how I told the other sympathizer, okay, let's leave. And that's how we drove to town. Driving, there were people the UN agency, Human Vision, to several other groups. They came and interviewed, asked some questions, and from there we were all off, and I came home to my wife and my family. So that's how it was today. But later did I go, about 25 minutes after, the president came out to the ministerial complex. So though they told me he was on a lockdown, but he came to the ministerial complex.
Now, Dr.
So that is.
Where do you get this thrill from? That I'm going to send you the letter. If I don't get a response, I will assume that you accept the fact that you agree that I can come and do whatever is in that letter. Where you got this from? And based on what you just said today, would you agree that it was a zero risk that you took to just appear at the residence of the president, input of abuse of power from your boss, or witch hunt? Dr. JOMAH. Are you there? Gosh, this internet business in Liberia. Again, folks, this is Ashford Garley.
I doubt it. It wasn't a risk.
Okay. And
as I continue to say, yeah, it wasn't a risk. And I have said before, and I continue to say, our leaders. Yes, I'm here. Are you getting me?
Yes, go ahead. We're getting you.
Are you getting me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm getting you clearly.
Go ahead and speak. Continue to speak.
Am I there?
Yes, sir. Go ahead and speak. Yeah.
Now, it wasn't a risk. And I've said before, and I continue to say, our leaders are public answerable to the people. It is my right. It is my right to visit the president. I did do a communication. And legally, what I do know, if you are asked a question and you don't respond, it's taken for a yes.
Where you got that from?
So, assumingly, I agreed that I did do a letter, and I agree. I do know that the president acknowledged it by not saying anything. His protocol did not write to say no, so we accept that for a yes. Yes. I went to the home of the president. I think it was part of the itinerary because I requested that I be part of the itinerary. So that is a yes. They didn't tell me no. So that's a yes. That's why I drove to his residence. I don't think it was risk because he is our leader. He is a public. So that wasn't a risk. And besides, I didn't not go there with violence. I drove my vehicle with a white flag symbolizing peace, and I went to his residence. Action risky. Well, it just shows peace because, assumingly, I mean, that sometimes the notion, I mean, it's just different. So I just wanted to be 100% safe to ensure family. So people seeing a white flag, it symbolizes peace. So it was not confrontational, it was peaceful.
None. Dr. JOMAH, is it possible?
So one will ask the question, so what happens tomorrow when you're no longer president? Will you not have friends? You would build a wall or a bridge around you that tomorrow, when you leave public office, you won't be able to talk. I said no to that. And I'm sure that's not what the president wants.
But Dr. JOMAH, though, let me ask you this. Isn't it possible that the letter you wrote did not make it on the desk of the president. You just said that your boss has
So
a
that's
very
my
close.
action. I think it was in the right direction.
I know. Isn't it possible that the letter you wrote didn't make it to the desk of the president? You said your boss has a very close relationship with the chief of staff to the president, Nathaniel McGill. Perhaps the president didn't see your communication. How can you just assume that it was a yes, that you can go and see him?
Am I still there?
Yes, sir. You are here. Did you get my question? Dr. JOMAH, are you there? Okay. Can you hear me, Dr. JOMAH?
I did not get the question. Is
Okay.
it possible you
Okay,
keep me broken?
Okay. Is it possible that
It's about to rain here, so
no? Let's look at the possibility
yeah.
of your letter not making the desk of the president. Nathaniel McGill is the chief of staff to the president, and you claim that this lady has a very close relationship with Nathaniel McGill. She brags.
Yeah, that's what she says.
Okay, she brags that she's gonna go to McGill, and McGill gonna do this and do that.
But that's what she says.
Okay,
No.
it is possible. It is
Yeah,
possible.
so I always quote her. Yes, I did. I did.
It is possible.
She says that I always quote her. Are you getting me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Am I there?
Mhm.
Very well.
Yes.
I can get it very well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Again, it is possible
Yeah.
your letter did not reach the president. It's a possibility, right?
Yeah,
Because,
that's a possibility.
okay,
It's
because Nathaniel McGill is the chief
probably.
president, and this lady claims she has a very close relationship with Nathaniel McGill. So you can't just say, I wrote a letter, I didn't get a response, so I'm assuming it's a yes, and let me take the risk and go to the residence of the president.
Yeah, probably he did not get it. But there are other lieutenants. Why it's true, Honorable McGill is the Minister of State for Presidential Affairs. The president has other lieutenants. There are other people, confidants that he has around. And I believe someone may have hinted him. Besides, I was at his residence today. Security came out and went in. The cameras are there. The news are being into the news media. I know he sees some of these things. Probably he may not get the first information to see what's really unfolding. Yeah, maybe it's thwarted. But he knows. I believe 100% he knows that these things have been happening. So while it's true that his story may not be correct as he's hearing, but I believe the president has heard that someone is there protesting at the executive mansion, or that someone came to his residence today. So I believe the president is aware. While it is true, yes, he may not get the full story, but he is aware to some degree.
Okay, again, you said something positive has been going in the right direction. About a week and a half ago, you got 2 months of your salary, and you just continued knocking. Now, with the issue of your personal belongings and your passport, how did she get your passport? Did you leave your passport at home, and she broke into the home and took possession of your passport?
Yeah, exactly. You know, I came to Monrovia for a weekend, and then when I went back, they denied me entry. Not that I was dismissed, they denied me entry. They use this ex-MPFL general and others to pull me away from there. So I've been into Monrovia.
Entry of your home?
Yeah, denied me of my residence at Cary.
Wow.
And my residence was locked. I had my generator in there, water pump for beehead and other materials. And so when I started the protest, that's when she went and broke into my residence. She broke into my residence along with Sam Lewis, Session BA, and Toka Kapu. In fact, when they were doing it that identical day, one of her security over there, I'm not going to call the name, he sent me a message saying, right now, we are doing this to your resident, Dr. JOMAH. Then another person called and confirmed it.
Wow.
And then Papa Morris, her spokesperson, confirmed it, say, yes, we broke into Dr. JOMAH's residence. When she heard that I went after the protest, I went to the American Embassy for additional 2 days to protest, but to request their intervention into restoring the rule of law at Cary. And when she heard that, she went back there, because when they looted the house, they took the things away to an unknown location. She went back there and searched my belongings and took my passport. And I requested, I've been asking the president during my protest, I've been asking Honorable McGill, you people appointed Paul F. Finlay. The reason I'm calling your niece is because you appointed her. You please have her turn my passport over and return my things to my house. A lot of scientific materials that were in my house, conditioners that were there, stove, kitchen utensils, beddings, bowel rat for testing virus for rabies. It's an antibiotic test for animals. They were there. My pass for my vehicle, my beehive, you just name it. I had even very, very valuable. It's almost about 300 years old. It's an antiquity. They looted everything away.
Wow.
And when I reported this matter to the Bond County Commander, Frederick Nepe, Nepe tells me, say, we're not sending anybody to Dr. JOMAH. We're not going to send anybody, because and we went on Prophet Key show. I heard you insulted Honorable McGill. So they told me, say, we shouldn't send anybody to your house. You hear that? Up to today, but I feel it. My materials have been where she has not paid me for 11 months. It's too much that anybody can bear. So I think it's about time the president intervene into this. However, the House Standing Committee on Autonomous Agency headed by Honorable Tokpa, they invited Madam Finlay. She's supposed to appear today, Wednesday, on the leak audio device. She's supposed to appear. But it's my understanding just yesterday that she requested for time to appear sometimes right after the holiday. And the youth group are not happy with what's happening at Cary. The community, I mean, all over Liberia, everybody knows the story. The woman just doesn't conform to the rule of law. So it's something not hidden. Everybody knows. But now it is the time now that President Weah on one person continuing to destroy the country, the image of Cary. I don't think it's fair to Cary. It's not fair to me. It's not fair to Liberia. It's not fair to my family. And I will continue to cry out and call on the Council of Churches, call on religious leaders, call on the interfaith, call on the Adventist Mission, call on the civil society, call on all the groups, the Swedish Embassy Human Rights Division, the American Embassy Human Rights Division, for them to intervene. This thing have got to stop. But I feel they have got to be brought to justice. She is not above the law. Because when the law is broken, then people tend to go to violence. And that's not what we want in Liberia right now.
Okay. And that
you have to get justice. When you can't get justice, people resort to violence. I don't think that's what we want.
I want to say a big thank you to you. You say enough, 2 hours. I'm pretty sure the message is out there, and we're hoping that they can do something about the payment of your wages, and perhaps go back to work. I mean, in the event where you continue to see these threats, you rightly said earlier, President Weah would not be president forever. You are one of the minds that I believe we need in Liberia. So don't risk your life. Because you've tried all kinds of means. I mean, going to the number one cop, the justice minister. They all have intervened, and you don't see anything coming out. So why continue to risk your life, your family members? So that's all the time we have tonight. Just with 1 minute, just give us your closing statement.
Well, do you know that the court that she took me to for $10,000 forgery, misuse, the court threw out the case, dismissed it without prejudice to the state?
Oh, wow.
Just 2 months ago, Judge Blamo Dixie in the non-judicial circuit court. Yeah, I sent that document. You see, you got it there. The non-judicial circuit court dismissed the charges and made me a free person. The prosecutor couldn't prosecute anything because can you prosecute a lie? You can't. No evidence. It wasn't true. It was just a build-up story. So they threw the case out. So tell me, go back to the status quo, reinstate Dr. JOMAH. But I'll tell them, no, it's not reinstatement because I wasn't dismissed. So you cannot give me a reinstatement letter. Just remove the ex-combatant from my residence, carry my things back to my place, lock the door, bring the keys to my room, let me go and verify, pay me my almost $15,000 United States dollar with $500,000 Liberian dollars, and let me have access to my work area, and let me live at peace with my family, where I have the right to coexist, to work, to live happily. Give me those are my fundamental rights. And that's why I continue to say, it's my right to live at peace. Leaving Liberia is not an option. The bad only succeed if the good fail to act. And I think the good has won one way or the other. 2 months have been paid. We are now requesting for the balance 9 months, and let me return to my office peacefully. That is my request to the president and Honorable McGill. See me as a supporter. See me as your partner, not your enemy. It's a wrong thing that anybody can do to drag its people into exile, because they will soon gather up and they fight to come back, and then it becomes troublesome. And we don't want that. So let's try to improve and respect the rule of law.
Dr. JOMAH, when I spoke to you 2 days ago, you called my full name. Have we met before?
No, I think I've been hearing that name before on the radio station in Liberia. Ashford Garley. I've been hearing it before on radio. I'm sure, yeah. In Liberia, you were one time I saw a broadcast or somewhere you work in Liberia, and I always heard that the giant.
Yeah, many years ago. Well, thank you. That hold on 1 minute. Want to go back to information highway, where Mrs. Letty Brooks Roberts is standing by to give us her parting statement. Mrs. Roberts.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Garley. Thank you, Dr. JOMAH. Thank you for again appearing on this platform to tell your story. It is unfortunate that such great minds and people that have studied to show themselves approved are the ones that are feeling the brunt of this government. And it's unfortunate that we have lawmakers and a vice president and a president sitting there and see and hear the plight of our people and do nothing about it. But I just want you to take courage and know we just lost a civil rights icon, and he too struggled to get to where he became before he died. In closing, here are his words. Do not get lost in a sea of despair. Be hopeful, be optimistic. Your struggle is not the struggle of a day, a week, a month, or a year. It is a struggle of a lifetime. Never, ever be afraid to make some noise and get in good trouble. Those are the words of Mr. John Lewis, representative, the late congressman. Please take courage. Again, thanks to our listeners and our participants. Mr. Garley, thank you for being the catalyst for which people can come and have their voices heard. Thank you, Letitia Roberts, signing off.
Thank you. Thank you, Mrs. Roberts. And folks, I'm afraid of the time I have to be with you. God willing, we'll be back tomorrow night with a fresh, brand new edition of Ashford Garley Live. Until then, please, as always, allow me to borrow the wordings of the wise man. Tough times don't last, tough people do. And the height of a man is never known until he rises. There's no second chance to make that first impression. Don't see okra and swallow bone, because you can't hide your nakedness from being bucket. When women know your friend black man. This has been yours truly. The medicine of the microphone, the golden voice of Liberia, the brother who doesn't eat iron, but he's definitely stronger than the lion, the giant. The giant Garley. Have a good night, folks.
Thank you. God bless all and save our country.